What's up? My name is Ruffy and this is UsefulFadez. This is my journey into barbering. I'm going to go over some of the little stuff in the beginning of what I'm doing, and then from there we'll talk about my journey and what got me into barbering. So let's jump right into it. I am cutting my man Dom. He is an instructor at the school that I go to, which is Third Coast Barber College out in League City, Texas. Now, Dom has very short hair. With that, it's very hard to use masters to set that guideline, and as you will see in the second that I learned that, and I will switch to the Slimline Pros. The reason that I had a hard time setting a guideline with the masters is because I wasn't punching in and I was going upwards to try to set that guideline. But Dom's hair being so short, it wasn't even with a closed guard. I wasn't able to get that line that I wanted to get to set that foundational bald guideline. Now, as you will see, I switched to the Slimline Pros and I'm able to punch in. These were zero gapped, and they allowed me to really set that nice detailed guideline that helps me move forward. Always got to wipe your trimmers and clippers, people. Always. Boom. See that ball guideline? That's what I was able to set with the Slimline Pros. I have dyslexia. Please excuse me. Now, as I start going in, I start giving him it's basically going to be a higher fade. With this, I'm going in, setting the secondary guideline to be able to go, and I'm going to keep going. Now I'm going into balding it out. Now, as you'll be able to see in the video, the whole process of what I did and how I did it, there are going to be multiple different haircuts that I go through, but what really got me into barbering is kind of what I want to talk about. This is my very first month into barbering. I had never cut hair in my life. This is something that I've been very interested over the past 10 years of my life since I was the age of 16. At the age of 16, I was ready to drop out of high school, and barbering was something that I was going to be pursuing or wanting to pursue. But the lifestyle I was living, the person who I was at that time would have failed miserably into barbering because I lacked discipline and I lacked focus. Now, if you're anybody that's new into barbering, I highly recommend learn your bad habits, know what you're bad at, what you're not good at, and discipline, focus, whatever it is that you need to fix that before you get into barbering, because barbering is going to be a very repetitive thing. So if you can't focus on something, you need to learn how to meditate or something to kind of get you baseline and be able to do those things. If you're not disciplined, work on that, right? Work on that. Don't try to skip corners and nothing like that. Ask questions. But over the past 10 years, I really amassed a lot of different skills in different industries, ranging from restaurants, restaurant management, fitness, sales, you name it, I've done it. Car sales, whatever it is that I've done it. I've done sales management, I've done sales, you name it. Recently, I got laid off. And in getting laid off, I kind of hit a point in my life at the age of 26 where I no longer wanted to work for anybody. And what I mean by not wanting to work for anybody is meaning that you can't fire me. You know, I cannot not make money because I don't have a place to go anymore. With barbering, it gives me that freedom. It gives me that freedom to be able to be creative. It also gives me the freedom of my time. It gives me freedom of how much money I want to make. Because the more better I get, the more money I will make. So in the beginning, me not making money right now as a student barber doesn't mean anything to me, because I know once I perfect my craft, the money will pour in. And that's kind of where I'm at in my journey right now with barbering, whereas now I'm getting used to cutting. I've gotten a couple of cuts under my belt now. It's allowed me to be more comfortable, to seek more challenges, different types of hair and stuff like that. And what I'm really excited about barbering for me especially is because I want to be able to travel. I want that freedom to be able to move around when I want to, where I want to, how I want to, and without anybody telling me no. If I want to go travel somewhere, all I got to do is block my schedule off and communicate that with my clients, and I'll be good. Now, if I'm in a booth rent situation, I got to make sure that rent is paid, because they don't play that. You know, barbershops don't play that. One of my big things, area of opportunities that I believe I will have as a student barber at this moment is there's going to be skill and being patient in the fact that I don't have the skills currently necessary to be where I want to be, but that doesn't mean that I will not acquire those skills. I really need to slow myself down at times, and as I'm learning techniques, I'm getting better. I'm memorizing stuff more, I'm reading more, I'm listening to other people, I'm watching other barbers, being in more barbershop environments, even when I'm not in school. barbering, I have made the center focus of my life at this moment. This is all I'm doing right now is barbering. I'm at a barbershop working either front desk or I'm at school. I don't have a life. This is all I want to do now. To just cut hair or be around people that are cutting hair or be in an environment where I'm watching and learning from osmosis, and I've gotten a little bit faster. I definitely feel like I've gotten a little bit faster. As you can kind of see, I talked to him, which is Dom, about kind of show him what the cut was looking like after I was completed. And as you can see, he was approving of it, giving him a back view of it, letting him see what the cut is. And as you can see, he's about to approve of it, man. You see that? Not bad for the first haircut. This right over here was where we went to an event. We're doing a back to school event at a church. Church of the Bay is the church. And this young man was very kind enough to let me cut his hair. Now, the haircut's a very simple haircut. It's going to be a high fade with a little bit of off the top. It was a very simple. Currently doing a quick scalp analysis, making sure that the scalp looks good. All right, now let's get into it. And as you will see, I'll be able to set in a guideline with my masters and in a couple of seconds as I'm starting to do it. And you can see that I'm with the fact that he has a little bit more hair and his hair is a little bit longer. It allows me to do the guideline the way I prefer with the masters rather than the slim line pros. I get tongue twisted, y'all. I get tongue twisted. I ain't even gonna lie. This is all off top dome. I'm not even, there is no, what's that called, script. I should have wrote a script, honestly speaking, but I didn't. So now we're just winging it. As you can see, I'm setting the guideline, making sure the guideline is following the occipital bone or whatever it is. Occipital. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out the terminology and all of this stuff, to be honest with you. Homie had a little thing in the back of the head, and we had to kind of work around it a little bit, make sure everything was good. Now that I'm kind of getting the guideline set up from the back side, I want to make sure, come to the front, look at where the guideline is on the box on the top, on the side from the front view. So that way, when I do go all the way around in this video, in this version where you see it at, you can see that I did set the guideline the way I needed to. Now I'm just going in with some trimmers and then I'm going in and just cleaning out the bottom because that's all going to be balded, right? So I go in and just start chopping away at them, and just slowly but surely get good at, making sure that have a good rhythm going, making sure, you gotta dust them off, make sure your canvas is always clean, people. That's one thing I'm learning as I'm getting into barbering, is making sure your canvas is always clean and you're not, because those extra hairs will throw your vision off. So you always want to have a brush in your hand, as you see in my left hand that I got a brush, always cleaning your surfaces, always making sure that, everything is looking clean while you're cutting hair. You always want to make sure that everything's looking clean. Just going in, cleaning everything up from the backside. This event was a great event. Thank you for the church for hosting us. Once I got everything cleared up, all right, now I'm going to hit him with the shaver, right? Bald it out a little bit, get everything bald and going. Get that nice and joint. Now, the guard that I had was too big for his hair, so I'm switching the guard to a lower guard, closed, and then just going in and setting that second guideline, in which I'll be using to fade into the head, right? And once that starts fading in, you'll start seeing more transitional points. There goes Dom again. And then just keep going, just going all the way around the head, making sure that it's even as possible and going slow and steady. I think one of the big mistakes that I tried to make early on, even though this was like my 9th or 10th hair, this was like my 7th or 8th haircut. Oh, shout out to the boy Logan. Trying to get into the video, man. But one of the things that I did learn was I have to go very, very, very slow, because it allows me to see things at a different rate, especially when if I'm going fast, I'm going to miss things. I'm not going to do things the way that they should be done. So especially, and one of the things that helped me go slow is the fact that the masters are weighted. They have a good weight on them. So as you're going, you're slowly going, so you're not really allowing yourself to have that much room for mess ups. And as you can see, the fade is starting to come in. The blend is starting to get blended in, and I'm just going all the way around the head and doing the same thing that I did on the side. Do it to the back, do it to the other side, flip the homie around, keep going. And I'm having a great time cutting hair too. One of the things that I'm enjoying about barbering is the fact that I'm learning skills, and I'm constantly learning. I'm not getting bored. Even when I'm at school and we're doing schoolwork, stuff out of the textbook, I'm not getting bored. I'm enjoying the time that I'm spending there. I'm wanting to spend more time there, not just in school, but around the barbering environment, right? So it's a blessing that I'm being allowed to do what I'm doing, and it just feels natural. It feels like something that is meant for me, if that makes sense. Just keep going around the head, making sure everything is looking proper, looking neat. Always checking your work. You always got to check your work, make sure you're going even. Man, my technique is getting better, especially even after this cut, man. Like, I think this was, I want to say, my 7th cut. I'll have to look it up, but you can see it all on my Instagram at UsefulFadez. All my cuts that I've done, I upload, a picture of, to kind of have a memory of it. Especially, it'll help me progress as I go on, because then I can look back at it a year from now, 2 years from now, etc., 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 and see how bad I used to be versus how good I am then, right? So starting off, I don't expect myself to be a great barber. I don't. I have realistic expectations. This is where, knowing that I'm not the best or I'm not good at what I do is good, because it allows me to get better. So that's what I'm really excited. That's something that I love to do and I'm really excited about. It's just constantly growing. And it's a very fulfilling thing, especially when you're just, going in, you're learning something new every single day. And there's something that you can get better at every single day. How you do your fades, your process of cutting, all of that. And just, making sure that you're taking your time. And it's quality over quantity with barbering. I'd rather cut 3 heads a day, but they be amazing haircuts than do 6 cuts and they all be mediocre, and that's something that I'm learning. And as you can see, the fade's starting to come in a little bit better. Unfortunately, at one point, I don't know, I think it's coming up shortly, but my camera died. So when that does, you will see that on the screen that, hey, the camera died. But just going in, just making sure everything is blending in properly, making sure I'm stretching the skin to really get those extra, just get that little extra details, just the little things that you kind of notice in the haircut as you progress as a barber, from being a student, right, to being a full-fledged barber, is that those little details is what separates you from the other barbers. And as I'm developing an eye for it, I am getting better about it. Making sure that I'm not, I'm not rushing. And I know this sounds very redundant. I'm keep saying the same thing over and over again, but this is what I'm being told. So I'm telling you what I'm being told. So don't give me no fucking attitude. Sorry, I cursed. Damn it, I gotta bleep that out. And just, as you can kind of see, it's starting to blend in a little bit more blurry as you go up. As I progress, it gets a little bit more blurry. The fade does. Just kind of going in and just kind of balding out the little parts in the bottom. And this is the point where the camera died, where I wasn't done with the cut, but we're going to transition to some other cuts that I did a cut on this young man right over here. And this was my second cut. This was my second ever cut, and it came out really well. In my opinion, looking at it now, it looks well, but now looking back at it to other stuff, it doesn't. These are some of my other sample cuts that I did as well. Thank you so much for watching. This is all I got for y'all. This has been nice. Peace.